hopefully this is going to work today. I had some struggles yesterday. I am normally live on Thursday evenings at 4 p.m. Pacific, 5 Mountain, 6 Central, and 8 Eastern. But YouTube was not playing nice with me yesterday and would not let me go live. Every time I would start, it would kick me out. I would try to hurry up and get back in. It would kick me out. So the struggle is real. So I'm hoping this is not my normal time. So I'm assuming, a lot of you that normally watch me probably aren't going to be watching me right now, but maybe some new people will be watching, we'll hope. I do see me on my iPad. I can see your comments. Wow, fingers crossed. This could be a good day, right? So I see Tony's here and Myra and Noreen. So if any of you guys are here watching, please leave a comment if you can. If you aren't able to comment, it's probably because you're not logged into your YouTube/Google account, and YouTube does not allow anonymous commenting. So just so you're aware. You might notice I'm wearing a different hoodie. Normally I just wear like a black hoodie, but this is my Hollywood Tower Hotel hoodie that I got in Disney World a couple weeks ago when we were there. And I'm super excited for it. I love it. It's so soft, and it's got like the hotel print in the hood, and then it's got the back has whatever it says there on the back. And I thought at first that it was, because this is kind of yellow, so I thought it was glow in the dark. It's not. That would have been really cool, right? So yeah. So Joanne says, I'm glad we got the YouTube figured out. I don't even know what happened, Joanne. I didn't fairly figure out anything. I kept trying, and it just kept kicking me out and kicking me out and kicking me out. And then finally I told you guys, I'm not going to be able to do it. And then about an hour later, while I was cooking dinner for my husband, I thought, well, I'm just going to try again. And I tried it. I tried to set the whole thing up, and it was effortless. It was smooth. And I was like, well, what the heck? They must have just had a glitch right when I was trying to go live yesterday at 5:00. So what are you going to do? Oh, we've got Pam in Cozumel. She's on a cruise. How awesome. She loves the Tower of Terror. Me too. My daughter and I got to go, and I think I told you guys this before, but some of you might be new. You may have never seen me before. We were in Disney World on a Stampin' Up! Incentive trip. Disclaimer, less than 1% of demonstrators actually earn these trips. And we got to get in early to the Hollywood studios because we were in a Disney resort. And so we got there at 8:30, and we headed straight for the Tower of Terror because we wanted to ride it. And we just literally walked right on. And while we were walking out, there was a gal in front of us by herself. And she said, yeah, I just got off this ride. That was her second time. She goes, yeah, I'm going to get off. I'm going to go right back on. And we're like, I didn't even think you could do that. I didn't even know that. So we followed her. We got right back on a second time. We came out and we got right back on again. I'm not right back on. By then it was getting, there was a little bit of a line. Not really that bad, but a little bit. So we had to wait just a little bit, but we rode it 3 times in a row. And then when we came out into the gift shop, I saw this hoodie and I was like, oh my gosh, I think I really need that. So here we are. So anyways, thankfully, my trouble is over. And actually, you guys, you may not have noticed this, but if you got here from Facebook, I had been having some serious YouTube struggles maybe like 8 months ago, where I couldn't schedule a live. Like I couldn't create a link that I could then share where people could just click it and come right directly to this video. If I did that, then my camera would always go vertical rather than this horizontal. And so I had to just start saying, just come to my YouTube channel and, refresh your screen and I'll pop up. Well, I thought to myself, you know what? It's all screwed up anyway, so I might as well try. So I did. I created a link, and if you came here from Facebook, the link should have brought you directly here. So maybe, fingers crossed, that little problem is done. I don't know. When we do Stampappy Academy lives, our monthly live parties that we do, we use a software called StreamYard. And I almost used that today, but I'm not really familiar with it enough that I thought that, I just didn't dare do it because I thought, I don't even know if this is going to work anyway. And then to have this brand new software and trying to figure it all out. So I decided to just go with what I know, which is just to go live on my phone, call it good. So I probably will try using StreamYard in the future because I think it is kind of cool because you can have like little things fly across. Like, if you wanted to put your dimensions of whatever I was making, I could put the dimensions on the screen. I could put, like special things that are happening with Stampin' Up. I can have those slide into the screen. I can have, I think I can, well, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can have my face and my hands at the same time. I kind of don't really like that anyway, so I probably wouldn't do that even if I could. But anyways, who knows? So, enough about that. My son was here. We watched his doggy last weekend while he was doing a bunch of graduation parties. And then he came over for dinner on Wednesday night and brought his doggy. His doggy, the poor thing, has ear mites. And when he took the dog into the vet wasn't even able to look in the dog's ear. The dog was losing his mind and would not let the vet look in his ears. And so the vet said, I think your dog probably has ear mites, but I can't tell. So we're going to go ahead and give you the ear mite solution. And so you need some special solution that was $100 for this tiny little bottle. You're supposed to put it in the ears once a week. But my son was having a heck of a time at home trying to do it by himself because the dog was just losing his mind every time my son tried to get to the ears. So I said, bring him over here. There's 3 of us, maybe we can, you hate to do that, but you got to do it for their benefit. You got to like tackle him and hold him down and everything. So him and my husband held the dog in place while I squirted the stuff in the ears, and we think we got it in. So fingers crossed that the ear mites go away. Because poor doggy, he's like shaking his head and scratching and everything. So anyways, so yes, thank you guys so much for joining me. If you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, that would really be awesome. And if you're able to share the video, that would really be awesome too. Like I said, I'm not normally live on a Friday afternoon, so this is a new thing for me. So hopefully what I have to share is cute and fun. And this is going to sound ridiculous, but I created these projects yesterday. Normally I create my projects either Wednesday or Thursday, depending. A lot of times it's Thursday. And I don't even really remember what the projects are. Oops. So as I pull the stuff out of each bin, let's hope it comes back to me, right? So anyways, I don't really have a whole lot else to say. It was great having my son here. My daughter's probably going to be coming home probably the end of next month, maybe. We'll see. So anyways, let's just get to the flip the camera, and I've got a few things to talk about because there's a great special coming up next week, and I'll share with you some stuff I made last week in case you didn't see my live. And yeah, we'll get to stamping. So let me go ahead and pull this out of the one holder, stick it into the other holder, and hopefully it's going to look right. Let me tap it a couple times. This dumb thing, I swear, sometimes it just does not like to change camera views, and I just don't really understand that either. Okay, we got to make sure it's straight because I can't handle it when it's not. I think that's pretty good. So thank you guys, all of you that are coming in here. This is fun. I see a lot of familiar names. I see Suzanne and Polly and Dolly. Let's see, and Teresa and Trish and Pat and Tina and all you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, let me put my glasses on so I can see what's going on. And let me clip my hair back so it's not hanging in my face because that's annoying. Okay, so last week I played with the Extraordinary Flora bundle and washi tape. And I made some pretty cute projects. One of the projects that I made while I was live, I changed it up a little bit because I didn't like how it turned out. This was the one that I changed. When I originally did it online or live, I didn't have a sentiment on here. And I think I had this circle of stuff a little bit farther down. But when I got done with the live, I thought, I don't like that. I wanted it to have a sentiment. So I pulled this off. I added a sentiment, and I don't remember if I had the gems or not, but that's what I did with it. So that was fun. Here's another one where we just have a piece of washi tape on a piece of white, and then a little die cut washi tape on the white. And then I did some background stamping with the large stamp in the set. This one I stamped it in Memento on white, and then I used what do you call it? Like a template, like a mask. So like I die cut the whole thing out of this green piece, and then when I placed it over my things, I used a blending brush and then added some ink. Let's see, Barb is asking me how my bra liners worked in Florida. They were amazing. Absolutely amazing. I did not feel the sweat at all. I had bought 2 sets of them. In fact, I have them, I think they're linked in the description of this video if any of you are into needing something like that. So what was happening to me is I was getting sweat under my melons, shall we say, and it was driving me crazy. I couldn't stand it. It was making my bra wet, and then the bra would stay wet. It was just an icky feeling. And so I had tried these bra liners that I found on Amazon. They're just like a thin piece of fabric They're kind of shaped like this, sort of. And you just tuck them underneath your melons, in between your melons and your bra. And it catches like the sweat. And for some reason, that did not feel sweaty to me. Having that thing be wet wasn't the same as having like my bra be wet. So anyways, if you guys suffer from that problem, I had a lot of you recommend different types of deodorants and different types of powders and stuff, but I didn't really think that they would work like all day long. You know what I mean? I figured if you like put some deodorant on or some powders, eventually the sweat's going to get through that, and then it's just going to get into your bra and it's going to be miserable again. But these things, 10 out of 10, would highly recommend anybody that has that problem to buy those because they were amazing. Okay. Then we did one where it was just a very plain card where we just stamped a sentiment, and then I pulled these pieces of washi tape off my cutting plate. I just cut the washi tape on the plate and used them as stickers. And then finally this one where I just kind of colored it all in and then added a little detail there. So that was really fun. So that video is on my channel. You guys can find that no problem if you wanted some tips and tricks about that washi tape. All right, moving on to this stuff. My personal online class for the month of June is going to be using the Floral Impressions bundle, or excuse me, suite, which is the Impressions of Bloom stamp set and dies with the fun ovals. And so I'm doing this on my own. It's not part of Stampappy Academy or anything else. And I do have links to the kits in the description of this video. In this class, you make 8 cards, 2 each of 4 designs, and I give you the envelopes, and the shipping is included in the price. And we'll talk a little bit more about it because I've got a card that I'm going to make using that stuff, not one that's in the class, but just a card. So link in the description. And then Kelly, Dina, and I for Stampappy Academy will be doing the Sunrise Sailing class in June, and the link is in the description of this video. We're going to be using the bundle and these, what are they called? Make sure I get the real name. Greetings for All Mix and Match Ephemera Pack. It's just a bunch of die cut pieces. Some of them are on black paper, some of them are on white, and we're using these. We're using some blending brushes. We're using these gems and the red and white baker's twine. And the gems are the adhesive back textured dots. Not to be confused with the pressed flower motifs, even though they do look similar. We're using the dots instead. Okay. The link to this class is in the description of the video. And here is something super exciting, you guys. Coming up next week, I think it's on Tuesday, it's June 3rd, we are going to be starting a sale through the month of June, the 3rd through the 30th, where all sweets and sweet products will be 50% off. So what that means is if you are looking in our new catalog and you come along and you find a sweet, let's just see, one that I don't already have. I'll pull one of those out, which this is kind of crazy. This is actually the perfect thing for me because I didn't order a whole lot of things yet out of the catalog because, you know, I was gone. I was very busy up to leaving, so I didn't order anything. And then I was gone. And then when I came back, I was very busy getting all of our catalog or our launch party stuff out of here, all my product shares, my In Color Club, and I was just crazy busy. And I hadn't had a chance to really order anything out of this catalog for myself. So I'm super excited because take this, for example, this is the Kintsugi Inspirations Sweet Collection. I want it, so now I'm going to get it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to order this suite and the Boho Vibes suite, and I'm going to get one of them, be this one, at half off. So that's going to be an amazing deal. Also, what I could do is, let's just say I didn't want the suite, I just wanted the bundle. I could just order the bundle and the DSP. The bundle would be full price, the DSP would be half price. So the cheaper item is always going to be half price. So here's my trick. I'm going to order both of these suites on a single order, since you don't have to get to any certain levels anymore. You know, you don't have to get to $150 or $300 to get, you know, extra benefits. So I'm going to order these 2 suites on an order. So I'll definitely get the one for half price. Then I'm going to go back, and if there's other things that I want, like say I want some extra gems, you know, out of this Boho Vibes, but this Boho Vibes class, I'm going to place a different order where I'm going to get some of these lesser expensive things that I want so that I can get, you know, my suite for half price, and then some of these other things for half price because they're going to be less. So if I ordered a suite and these gems, the gems are going to be half price because it's always going to be the lesser expensive item that's half price. So I kind of figured that out, that I'm going to order, you know, I might place multiple orders because honestly, what does it matter? You know, there's no reason not to, as long as I hit the shipping threshold, which is kind of another thing in my mind. But anyways, I hope you guys get that and that makes sense. So there's all the suites in this big catalog, plus any of the suites that are in the online store, which could include the Cheers and Sips, the On the Go, the what was that heart suite that we had here a few months ago? I can't remember what it was called. That any of the suites that we have. So there's a link that if you go to the online store and you click on, suites, you can find all the suites that are going to be in the sale, and then you can see what items within those suites you may want. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be an amazing sale, and I'm super excited about it. So the only thing I should tell you guys is to order early, because the stuff is available while supplies last. So let's just say I want that Kintsugi suite, and one of those products in that suite goes unorderable. I can't order the suite now. You know what I'm saying? So I'd have to order the products individually, which might affect me getting the best deal. So I'm definitely going to order first thing on Tuesday morning so I can get my suites at the good price, and then I'll go back in and order some other things. So hopefully that clears that up and that makes sense. All right. As you all are aware, we have our new Stampin' Rewards program. So we no longer need to get to a certain threshold to get rewards. We get rewards on every $20 that we spend, or minimum of $20. So that's why I can order those 2 suites on a single order and then come back in and place another order. And I'll just keep banking my rewards. You can also use rewards on those orders for the suite products if you want to. When you order from me online, let's see, did I answer all the questions? Okay, yes. Obviously, anything you order from me ever, no matter what it is, if it's a class, if it's something from my online store, if it's a retired product off my blog, whatever, that makes you a customer of mine as far as I'm concerned. And you can get into my VIP Facebook group if you are interested in doing that. There's a link in the description. Any order you place with me, you'll get my monthly suite tutorial. If your order is in May, it will be the Florals in Bloom class. If you order in June, it will be the celebratory sips. So that's any order. Then if your order is at least $20, like we said, you get 10% back in Stampin' Rewards that you can use on a future order. If your order is $35 or more, you get, of course, the Stampin' Rewards from Stampin' Up. You get my monthly tutorial. Plus, you get an invite to our monthly Stampappy party, which is amazing. And every month we are going to be working on a different layout or, a color combo, something. And the 3 of us are going to design projects that meet the theme, and then we're going to share them with you guys. I'm trying to find our project from. So here's the logo for the Stampappy party. And this was our first Stampappy party. We did this fold here. I think it's a triple diamond stepper card. And this isn't the one that we made, but this is the only one that I could find. I don't know what I did with the one that I made, but this is a similar design of that. So this, there was 3 different cards, and then we have a PDF file available and everything. And anybody who places that $35 order gets an invite to that class. And if you spend $50 or more, you get everything I just mentioned. Plus you get my global tutorial, which the month of May was kind of a collection of different suites and bundles. And then in the month of June, it is going to be the floral impressions. And somebody just said, let's see, Teresa's also planning to make multiple orders to take full advantage of the half price. $72.50 is the shipping. I think it's $79.50, Teresa, because $7.95 is the minimum shipping. So just $79.50 would be your would be what you'd want to at least get to maximize your shipping. I mean, obviously, if you $70, what 90 cents isn't that big of a deal. So anyways, but you are correct. Okay, we talked about all that. Ooh, the virtual album retreat is coming up in July. This is something that Stampin' Up! Has never done before, but if you are a close to my heart shopper or close to my heart former maker who is now a demonstrator, you are familiar with what these are. The virtual album retreat is a 3-day event that happens July 16th, 17th, and 18th from 2 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Those 3 days. Don't worry if you can't watch live. You can always watch the replay that'll be available, I believe, within about 3 weeks after the event is over. To get into the event, all you have to do is purchase the scrapbook. What is it called? The month to month something or other for 2025 is $250, and that will get you into the retreat. Now, I realize that $250 is a lot of money, but if you happen to be a demonstrator, you're going to get your demonstrator discount off that $250. And everybody, customers and demonstrators, are going to earn Stampin' Rewards. So you're going to earn 10% of that. So you're going to earn $25, which is amazing. So what you want to do, if you're not a demonstrator yet, you want to join my team today, tomorrow, or the next day, while Stampin' Up's having the join special, and then you can jump right back in and order your virtual album retreat at your 20% discount. So I think it's going to be pretty amazing. I have not been into scrapbooking for many years. I used to scrapbook when my kids were younger and I was a newer demonstrator. I do have some albums, I do have some pages, but I kind of got away from it and got into card making. But I still have a ton of photos left, and I'm pretty interested in see how this is going to work out. All of the months you make 24 two-page spreads, 12 two-page spreads for 24 total. And each month has its own packet of stuff. So you'll pull out the packet for the January spreads and everything is in the packet. It's already cut for you and everything. So I think it's going to be really amazing. I think it's going to be very simple to follow along, and I'm really excited about it. So I ordered my kit on the 28th when they became available, and it should be here next Tuesday. So here are some of the supplies that are going to come in the kit. You've got your 12 pre-cut packages. You've got some more die cuts, some like backgrounds. You've got your page protectors. We've got some thread. We've got some gems. You've got a few stamp sets here, some flip flaps, photo placeholders, all kinds of stuff is in this box. And then here is just a sampling of some of the layouts that they're going to be doing with you. Now, for me personally, I don't know, so I'm going to use the months. I might not put the months on mine. I may leave those off so that they can be a little bit more generic, and I can put, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be in July, whatever photos I'm using. But either way, I'm pretty excited about it. All right, Stampappy Academy. We talk a little bit about that every single time I'm live. It's only $20 a month now, and you get literally everything. You get the Stampappy party that's every month. You get 3 live classes with one with each of us every month. You get our online class for the month, and we're doing a quarterly bingo with prizes. We're going to start that. I think the first one is June or July. I can't remember. But anyway, for $20 a month, that is a ton of content. We talked about my Facebook group. Adhesive kits I always have for sale. The link is in the description of this video. All right, enough jibber jabber. Let's get busy here. Move all this stuff out of my way. And we're going to get busy. So the first project I am going to bring in does use the Impressions of Bloom bundle. This is part of a suite that's an online exclusive. Tony says, I don't scrapbook anymore except for my Stampin' Up! Trips, but I got this retreat to do an album of all my grandkids' birthdays around the calendar, so doing it for 2026. What a great idea. Yeah, I think it's just going to be really cool. And it's going to be super simple. Now, it doesn't come with an album, but you can always add the album on if you decide that you need it. So, yeah, I'm really excited about it. Okay, Impressions of Bloom. In my class, I'm also going to be giving you some of these foiled frames, labels, and ephemera. And these are there are 6 sheets in here, 2 of each pattern. I'm trying to get this out so I don't ruin anything. So one of the sheets looks like this, where you've got these 2, and they all have frames. They all have a frame, and then they all have the insert that goes in the center of it. So this is one of the designs. Here is another one. There's 2 sheets of each, like I said. So that one, and then the larger ones also. So I'm kind of excited about that. So we're going to be using this today, and I'm going to be using this skinny frame on my card. And let me get my pieces and parts out here. So I'm going to be using some Timid Tiger cardstock. I've got a card base that's 5.5 by 8.5. My inside layer is 4 by 5.25. And then this outside piece is 3 by 5.5. I've got a scrap of Old Olive for a sentiment. I did die cut the long stem piece out of Old Olive already. And then I have a 3 by 3/4 inch strip of white. And so I've got some Versamark here, and I'm going to be stamping on this layer. So let me bring in a scratch paper. So I'll just put my layer on there, and we're just going to ink up. Now this is the detailed flower. There is a solid flower in the stamp set also, but I thought the detailed flower would work better for this card. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm just inking up my stamp, and then I'm just stamping it kind of randomly all around my layer here. I did try stamping this flower in Timid Tiger and Petal Pink and this Versamark, and I'll show you on the other side. I was practicing, and I'll show you what each of those looks like. And I did end up going with the Versamark. I don't know, there's just something about Versamark on a piece of cardstock that just works for me. So here's the Timid Tiger, or no, this is the Timid Tiger. This was the Petal Pink, And then this was the Versamark, but that was the other stamp. After I was stamping that, I was like, wait, that's not the stamp I want. So that's this daisy here. These two go together. This is a 2-step stamping set. You can use them together, but I just wanted to use the detailed piece. And so that's what I have there. My Versamark away. And so that's going to just go on my card like that. And then this little piece, I am going to cut this. So we're going to pretend that it's longer than it is. So I'm going to cut it at about 3/4 of an inch, between 3/4 and 1 inch, somewhere in there. So then I can extend this out a little bit longer than it really is. So for this top part, that's where I'm going to stamp my flower again, but this time I'm going to use the Timid Tiger. And I am going to take a spoon, just a plastic spoon, whoops, make sure I don't get ink on my finger, and press the ink back into the pad, just because it's a little bit inky, as they say, and I don't want it to be too inky. So I'm going to purposely stamp it with this kind of split in the flower facing down so that my stem will fit in there really nicely. There we go. And stamping that or pressing that ink into the pad just helps me get a lot better impression than I would have if I hadn't done that. All right, let me clean this stamp off just because, you know, it's orange and it's fairly bold, and Barb will make a mess if I don't. Okay. So then I've got my little stem here, and I'm going to glue that upside down. I don't need this edge here, so I'm just going to glue it opposite. And I'm just going to add some glue here to this stem. If I can get the glue to come out. Come on, there we go, there we go, there we go. Is that enough? It should be just barely. So I am going to kind of rub it on my finger just to make sure that I don't have glue that's going to squish out all over, because that happens. And then we're just going to try to send it right down the center of our label here. Rub off that excess glue off my hand. And then I'm just going to snip off that excess. All right, and then I'm going to add some glue again. And I'm going to bring my other piece in, and I'm going to stick those together ever so slightly. And then I'm going to put this on so that it looks like it's a continuation of the one above it. And then we'll just snip off that excess as well. So there's what we have, our little stem. So I can toss that bit that I don't need. Then I'm going to bring in the leaf image from the stamps, and this is the detailed one that I'm going to be using. And I'm going to be using some Old Olive. So let me open up my Old Olive, and we're going to tap, tap, tap. And I'm going to, actually, you know what? I'm going to wait on my leaves until I get some of this sort of put together. So this is how this is going to go. We've got our stamped layer here. This is going to go a little bit off to the side. This is going to go right below it. And then we're going to cover up that break with our sentiment piece, which we have right here. And I am going to use the large I Appreciate You sentiment from the stamp set. And we're just going to stamp this on here. And just as a reminder, this is my class for June. So if you do enjoy this bundle, then you're going to want to get my class. It's going to be awesome. And then I do have a piece of Old Olive here somewhere that's a scrap. And then I've got another sentiment here out of that same stamp that says "So Very Much." And I'm just going to stamp that on this layer of Old Olive. And then I'm just going to cut this out. So just like straight cut, straight down the word, right up the edge there, and then right over. And then we'll get right there. And then this is going to be attached right here. So since this is kind of where everything's going to go, this is going to help me a little bit gauge where I want to put my leaf. And so I am going to stick it kind of down at the bottom. Pull this out of here. And it's going to go off the page just a slight bit. And then we're going to ink it up again, and we're going to put another leaf right there. Okay, so we should have everything done, I think. Oh, I didn't put my flower middle in. I did pull out the petal pink for that. And we're going to stamp our little flower middle here. There we go. Close up these ink pads. Just checking for comments. Don't have too many comments today. Since it's not my regular live, I have a lot of you gals that don't normally watch me. So if you don't normally watch me, let me know where you're from. And were you just notified that somebody was live, or do you normally follow me and you saw that I was live? Inquiring minds want to know. I need dimensionals for this. Yeah, so just kind of let me know how you came upon finding me. Or do you follow me on Facebook and you saw me post that I was going to be live? All right, so I'm going to put this on right here while you guys are doing some commenting. Oops, that's not quite even. Is that? I think that's fairly even. And then this. All right, Noreen says she loves these colors together. I do too. I really enjoy this Timid Tiger. I wasn't so sure. When I first heard that it was Timid Tiger and it was orangey, I was like, orange. But, you know, the more you use something, I think the more you appreciate it. And that's definitely happening for me with this Timid Tiger. Okay, so we have that. Notification from YouTube that I was going to be live. Awesome. Okay, that's good to know. I'm just going to put dimensional in there just so I don't have to worry about it. And then I can cover up my little space there that I made. There we go. And then we're going to add this. I think we'll do dimensionals again. Hello, Carol Ann. Nice to see you. Get all this on here. Yeah, when I didn't get to go live yesterday, I didn't even get to like say anything about that I would try to be live a different time. Yeah, YouTube just absolutely was not having any part of me being live yesterday. Okay, that. Now we're going to take our little sentiment piece here and add this. And I don't know if this layout looks familiar to any of you, but it is one of the cards that is kind of featured for this bundle or for this collection of products on the Stampin' Up! Website. I just copied it because I loved it so much. And then I'm going to bring in, this is something new. These are in the annual catalog. They're the loose gold sequins. And we've probably had sequins before, but I didn't save mine, so I don't have them. And I'm going to add a couple of sequins to the card. I'm going to put a couple on this little label here. I'm just trying to get a little bit of glue here. And then maybe I'll throw one right in the middle of this flower that I ended up stamping over here. That was kind of a happy accident. And we'll just add this. And then I've got another big one here that I'm going to put right here. And then I'm looking for one of the smaller ones. There we go. And I'll add that one down here. So I kind of love these gold goodies with the gold foiled frames. I think those are pretty cool. So then here is another one that I did, and this one uses the strawberry slush and the same other colors. We've got the old olive there again, and this is pretty in pink and strawberry slush, and then the Timid Tiger and the, what do you call it? Petal pink. And I think the one that's on the actual website when you're going to purchase the product, I think theirs is done in fresh freesia. So there you go, 4 different color combos using the same products. And again, I'm really excited about my class for this because I have some really fun projects. Okay, I'm going to kind of throw these things back in the bucket, and then we will move on to our next project. Oops. I'm trying not to get ink on anything else that's in that bucket since I have dirty stamps in there. Okay, let me pull those off to the side and get rid of these bits. All right, and so now, oh, I forgot to put the inside in. Hold on. Here's the inside that I stamped. I just did the same flower, and then I just used the thanks sentiment that's in the stamp set also. You always got to have an inside, right? So let's throw that in here. Try to make it straight if we can. There, now it's finished. So there it is. Super fun. Okay. Next card. This is one thing that I did buy. I did buy the stripes and dots stamp. Well, I should say stamps, because it's pretty cool the way this is set up. It's set up where you have this big border in this big border, and I don't know if I would ever use that for anything, but I just kept it for the heck of it. And then you have these 4 pieces that make up the inside of that. So you've got the polka dots and the stripes, and then the kind of dashed lines, and then the diagonal stripes. And you can use them all together if you want to put them on your block together, or you can use them individually. So I didn't really cut, when I cut them, they come apart, but I kind of trimmed them up a little bit because I'm kind of a psycho and I don't like my stamps to catch edges because I'm a heavy-handed stamper. So I usually trim my stamps up a little bit just so that I don't catch those edges, because I do quite a bit. So this, I really wanted to use this, and then I pulled in the Right Words stamp set. This is another new stamp set in the big catalog, and I really liked this, and I've been using it quite a bit, so I'm getting a lot of use out of it, which makes me super happy when I buy something and I get a lot of use out of it. All right, so here are the pieces and parts. If you guys did watch my live last week, you will remember that at the end of it, I mentioned, after all the other things that I had shared with you for the Extraordinary Flora, that I had also done this, that I had stamped the large stamp in Secret C onto cloud cover. And then I colored in some of these pieces. So I did some of them with cloud cover, and then the other day I threw in a little bit of Secret C also. So I decided to pull these out because I thought, well, I've got all these pieces. I might as well use them for something, right? So that's going to kind of be my little focal point for my card, is going to be all those bits. So, but we are going to start out with stamping on our piece of cloud cover. So this piece of cloud cover, like I said, I can't remember how big it is. I think it's 3 3/4 by 5. Yes, 3 3/4 by 5. And I am going to just run a score line down it at 2 inches or 3. Doesn't make any difference because 2 plus 3 is 5. So we're just going to run a score line there. And that is only to help me know where to stamp these 2 large stamps. That's going to help me know where to stamp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the stripes along the bottom and the polka dots along the top. And I'm going to do the stripes in Secret C and then the polka dots in the cloud cover. So here's my Secret C. So because I have the score line there, I can see that. So when I go to stamp my lines, I can kind of use it as a guide. So let me just ink this up here with my Secret C. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a piece of grid paper. Now we still sell grid paper, not these small ones, but we sell a larger grid paper, but this is what I still have, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. So I'm going to use the grid paper to kind of help me place my stamp, because I don't want it to be, I want it to be a little bit off the paper, but not completely. So I'm going to try to only have to stamp this thing twice. So there's one. And now we're going to come back in here and ink this up again. And if we get lucky, we will only have to stamp this one more time, but we might not get lucky and we might have to stamp it again. So again, I can see my score line there. So I am going to try to line this up and stamp that again. Ooh, we did it, because this little thing right here, I'm not going to worry about that. So that's pretty straight. I'm not unhappy with that at all. And with my line there, that's where I'm going to put a piece of ribbon. So that's going to be like to hide any of the like this is a little bit lower than this one, but you're not going to be able to tell because I'm going to put the ribbon on there. All right, so then we've got the cloud cover ink. And now if you are a demonstrator, you can purchase a cloud cover ink pad. If you're not, then you can't. Stampin' Up! Had some issues with this color. According to Stampin' Up!, the ink formulation and the formulation of our foam pads had some kind of a reaction, causing this color of ink to kind of turn from a grayish blue to a more of a grayish color. I was not going to order this pad, but I accidentally ordered 2 of them. So yay me. I stamped them and I didn't feel like they looked that bad, honestly, but I went ahead and this is like probably not something that's going to make a difference, but I did rinse the whole thing out. I rinsed my whole pad out and I re-inked it with cloud cover ink. And so far it looks fine. Now, I don't know if over time the color's going to shift and it's going to change and it's going to be more of a gray than a gray blue. I have no idea. It's possible. So if that's a risk you're willing to take, you can purchase our empty white craft pad because it comes empty and then it comes with a white craft ink refill. I have mine filled up with Memento at this moment. Where is mine? Right here. So it says white pigment ink on the pad, but it comes empty. And so I filled my whole thing up with Memento because I wanted a spongy Memento pad. So you could buy the white craft pad and a cloud cover re-inker because the ink is fine. It's just when it comes in contact with the foam that it could cause a problem. And you can make your own cloud cover pad if you want. Or what you can do is you can purchase some blank Stampin' Spots. We do have some blank Stampin' Spots, and you can add cloud cover ink refill to a Stampin' Spot. Or we do have some collections of Stampin' Spots that one of the collections does include a cloud cover spot, and you could use that. So like I said, I didn't intend on buying the ink pad. I was just going to use a spot, but then I accidentally ordered for my In Color Club, and since I had these on my list because I originally intended to be able to give them to my In Color Club people, so I accidentally ordered some. So that's why I have one. But like I said, so far it's working fine and I haven't noticed any change in the color. So as long as the color is looking fine for me, I'm going to go ahead and just keep it and keep using it. So that's the deal with that. So, again, we're going to do that same kind of thing where I'm going to use my line and the edge of my stamp, my score line and the edge of my stamp as a guide. And I want my, of course, thing to be even there. So we're going to try. So there are some polka dots. And we'll ink this up one more time. And then we're going to use that as a guide once again. So now I'm using my polka dots as a guide. And we're going to stamp. And then we'll do that one more time. And we'll stamp here, right at the edge. And so now we have some polka dots. Oh, you know what I'm going to try to do? I'm going to try to get some polka dots on that very edge. This might ruin the whole thing. I might have to start over, but we're going to see. We're going to see what happens. Because I kind of wanted some polka dots over there. Okay. So now we have some polka dots and we have some stripes. And then, like I said, I'm going to bring in some of this Secret Sea ribbon. And I'm going to wrap it around something to tie it in a knot because I don't have good luck tying ribbon around paper. So I like to tie it around something. So I'm going to tie it around this can of pixie spray. You could use, your Stampin' Mist bottle, or just like if you have some kind of small water bottle that you have in your stamp room, or a little spritzer of some sort, whatever. This is just going to help me make a nice knot. And then when I actually get it onto my project, it's going to be nice and tight because I wrapped it around this rather than trying to wrap it around my card, which wasn't going to happen. Okay. So now I have my nice knot here. And then what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to attempt to, I would probably want my knot to be about right here. And so then what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold my knot. I'm going to pull this over a little bit and I'm going to snip that off so that I can wrap it around. Now you can't even tell that I have all those lopsided things going on there. It just looks fantastic. Okay. Do we have any comments? I keep forgetting those. Kim got more of the grid paper. I do too, Kim, and I'm glad that I still have some. I don't use it all the time. I most of the time use like scratch paper, but when I need the grid on there, then it's good. But we do have the larger grid paper, and you can cut it up so that it's not so big. You know, if you don't have a very big workspace, then you can cut that up. Okay, what else do we have in this bucket here? Oh, then we have a piece of white. And this should be 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, and it is. And this is going to be mounted onto this. And then we have our Secret Sea card base. And then we have our inside layer, which I am going to do a little bit of stamping on too. And I'm going to use one of the other stamps in the set. I thought I would use these dots, because dots, those are not dots, they're stripes. So I'm going to try to use the stripes. We'll see what happens. If I can get this onto a block. Whoops. And every time I use these grids, I have somebody ask me about them, and they are grids that Stampin' Up! Sold a really long time ago, and they do not sell them anymore, and I am so sorry. But I like to use them. Okay, so we're going to try to stamp our little dashes, I guess, at the bottom here. You know what I should do is I should use a darker piece of cardstock, because then I can see the edge of my white, and then I'll kind of know, you know, what I'm doing here. So we're going to try to stamp that and hope that it turns out. That's not terrible. I'm going to go ahead and leave it. But you know what I might do? Just because I can, I might try to add a cloud cover stripe in between each one of those. This is dark. Do I want dark or light? How dark is dark? It's pretty dark. We'll go light, just to see. I have more white cardstock. If this is a terrible idea, then we will change it. But I wonder what that would look like if we just kind of went with a cloud cover line in between all of these. I like the idea of using both, but wow, I should have taken more care. Because it doesn't look so great. Now, if I was really talented, I could have inked up that stamp again in cloud cover and then done it again. But I think that's going to work. I think that kind of takes away from it having too much white space in between those lines. And so I think it's going to work. I think I'm okay with it. Okay, so that's going to be on the inside. So then for the outside, we also have I have a circle that I got, a stylish shaped circle. This is the second to largest one. Well, I don't know which one it is, but I'll tell you what it measures. It's about 2 1/8 of an inch. And so I'm going to then bring in all these flowers, and I'm going to kind of layer them on this circle and kind of just make a pattern. So I've got this piece here, and I went ahead and added some Wink of Stella to the center of some of these flowers just because I thought that might be kind of fun. And I've got another big flower here, and then I've got some leaves that are with some secret C. Here is another leafy piece. I'm going to try to trim that out. That I added a little bit of secret C along with the cloud cover just because I thought that might be kind of fun. And then here is a little flower, but I don't know if I want to use that or not, because you can't really see the lines with the color there. Oh, this might work. So if we had that right there, maybe we could tuck this under here. There, I think that's going to work out just fine. So what I'm going to do is I am going to add these pieces with some glue, and then I'll add the flowery pieces with dimensionals. So I think that's where I want that. So if I did that and that, that should work out, I think. And then this could come underneath. So maybe something like that. Okay, and I think I'm going to put these on, and then I'm going to tuck this last piece under. And we'll see how that works out. So let me grab some dimensionals here. So there's a dimensional for that, and a dimensional for that, and then maybe a mini up here, and maybe a mini right here. And let's see, I just saw Patricia is joining late. Well, thank you so much for joining, Patricia. I appreciate that. And anybody else who's here that maybe has never watched me before, please let me know how you discovered this. Were you just surfing on YouTube and I popped up? Did you see me on Facebook that I was going to be live? Just because I'm curious. Something like that, and then maybe we'll just kind of tuck that underneath. Why not? Okay, let's try that. There. I think that'll work just fine. So then I have a few little bits left. We'll push those off to the side since we aren't going to use those right this minute. And I think I'm going to go ahead and add my layer of cloud cover to my layer of white. And for those of you that are watching me that maybe have never seen me before, I am usually live on Thursday evenings at 4 p.m. Pacific, 5 Mountain, 6 Central, and 7 Eastern. But last night I had some troubles with the do my live last night, and so here I am today. And so thank you for joining me. too. I appreciate you very much. Okay, so that's about where I want this to go. So now I'm going to pull it to the back, and I'm going to tape my ends down. I'm going to pull this side, and I'm kind of looking, I can see my score line, so I'm just trying to put the ribbon over the center of it as best I can. And then we'll put that. Okay, Wilma got a notification from YouTube. Yay! Good. That makes me happy that the notifications sometimes work, because I know sometimes they don't. I need to trim all that off. Okay, and then we can tuck this under. And I think we'll add a couple dimensionals, one at the top and one at the bottom. We'll kind of straddle the ribbon that way. So one here and one here. And we'll just kind of get that right on here. Something like that. And Myra also got a notification. That's good to know. Okay, so we have that done. So then what I decided to do was I took a piece of white cardstock, just a scrap of white. I'll grab one here. And I colored it with a dark, it was a dark cloud cover blend. I'm pretty sure it was dark. No, it wasn't. It was light, because that is not even the same color. So it was light. So I just kind of colored a whole, like a whole strip into the cloud cover. And then I pulled in my mini alphabet die and I cut out the letters HELLO out of that colored cardstock. And so now here I have those. And so now I can't decide if I want to just put the hello on the card by itself, or if I want to put the hello onto something, which I happen to have something. So I'll let you guys take a look-see at that. So here it is without anything underneath it. I kind of feel like the words kind of get lost. You know what I'm saying? Just because if the whole thing was dark, I think it would be fine. But because we have stripes and there's dark and light, the words are kind of getting lost. So I thought, what if I brought in this banner also from the Stylish Shapes and added my word to the banner instead. And then I'll put the banner on and then cut off the end. And I feel like that's the better move, I think, because then you can really see the word. So what do you guys think? With the banner or without? Go ahead and give me a comment if you wouldn't mind, and we'll see if we're all on the same page. And then while you guys are doing that, I am going to take my inside layer and maybe I'll add a little flower here, you know, because why not? Ooh, this is awfully cute. Yeah, I'll just do this. Okay, so you guys are agreeing with me. We should definitely go with the banner. Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. It just seemed like the thing to do. I also have a sentiment. So we got hello on the front there. And I think I'm going to say, I know a good thing when I see it, and I see a lot of good things in you. Or maybe I'll put this. I really don't like that you're leaving, but I hope you love where you're going. That seems like a nice card. Okay. But this stamp I haven't used yet, so I have to trim this. So I am a very heavy-handed stamper, and so I always catch edges, and so I always have to trim my stamps. And I don't use the stickers because I just don't think they're necessary, honestly. Even though I have had a couple of mishaps by not using them, I still don't think they're necessary, so I don't use them. Okay, and since I am a heavy-handed stamper, I can totally see myself getting ink in there. So I am going to snip that little section out. Okay, let me get a block here. Here's a block. Let me get this situated on here, and then we will try to stamp the inside here. So I think I'll go Secret C. And I think everybody agreed that we needed the banner. Okay, good. We're all on the same page. All right, and then I'm going to stamp this. Hopefully it's centered. We're going to see centered enough, even if it's not. Okay, so I'm going to glue my letters onto the banner. I'm going to start with the O because I want it to be, you know, as close to the edge of the banner as I can get it. think I had a little too much glue on there, so I did tap a little bit off with my finger. And then we'll get the L. Did the same thing, too much. And if I get too much ink or too much glue, then we all know what happens, and it squishes out and it makes a big mess, and nobody wants that. There, that was definitely a good amount. There we go. And we've got our E. You got to make sure you can spell backwards, though, is the only thing, if you're going to do this. And thankfully, this is a very easy word, so I should be able to spell it backwards, right? Okay. And after this card, I have one more card for you guys. Hopefully you like it. What is it, you might ask? I have no idea. I knew what it was yesterday. And I mean, as soon as I pull out my bucket, I'll be like, oh, right, now I know what it is. Oh, I just looked at it. I remember. I think I am going to just take a couple of these little edge pieces here and throw them on. So I'll put one kind of behind the H and one there. And then we'll get that on there and then we'll trim it off. All right, so we're going to get it somewhere near the bottom and kind of close to the edge if we can. I mean, I don't want it too close to the bottom, but I definitely want it, you know, at the bottom. There we go. Oh, yes, I think that's going to be just fine. Okay, and now I'm going to add this with regular glue. So I think we have plenty of dimensionals. Make sure we have the card opening the proper way. And then there we go. Oh, I love that little collection of flowers and stuff there. I think that's really cute. All right, so let's get this. You know what I just noticed? I'll show you, and then I am going to try to fix it. Maybe somebody already noticed it. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. So when I snipped off that edge, you can see the edge, and I don't like that. So I think I have a little tiny flower here. And I think I'm just going to tuck that underneath so that I can kind of cover up that edge, because I don't really like that that's showing. So we're just going to tuck that little flower under there. And then I am going to take the leaf of Stella, and I am going to add just a tiny little bit to the middle of that flower. I think I'm going to add a little more here because I don't think there's quite enough. There. Okay, so we've got the inside, we got the outside, and now we need some gems. And I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, if I wanted to use these cloud cover muted palette dots or these shiny ones. You know, I kind of feel like the shiny ones have to win just because we're using Wink of Stella, so it's kind of a no-brainer. And I think that we're going to use the Secret C. What did I do with my Take Your Pick tool? I know it's out here somewhere. Here we go. It's like, I know it's out here somewhere because I literally just used it. We are going to go with a large one. I wonder if I could cover up those dots, if that would. That worked out pretty good. And then we'll put the other one right down here. Okay. Ooh, I am very, very happy with how this turned out. Yes, 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 yes. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I hope you guys also liked it as much as I did. Let me get these flowers back in their containers so that I don't lose any of them. And we will put some of this stuff away and bring in our final bucket. I'm going to move these stamps behind me so I don't have any chance of getting ink on myself. Because as we all know, when there's ink pads that are open, it's very difficult not to get it all over yourself. Okay. Push all the bits out of the way, because Barb likes a clean work surface. So as far as you guys can tell, it's clean, even though on my end it is not so clean. But that's okay. All right, so I also wanted to pull in the Layered Thoughts stamp set today. It is a $1 Million Seller stamp set from my friend Barb Brimhall. She does have a fantastic name, by the way. And so I wanted to use this. So I did come up with a color combination that I was really happy with because I found it in the color combo chart, you guys. It's one of the Flirty Flamingo cards, and I think this was last year's card, not this year's card, last year's card. But it's Flirty Flamingo, Pumpkin Pie, and Lemon Lime Twist. And I decided to use some of our Color Family Designer Series paper packages. So every year Stampin' Up! Comes out with new designs. And this packet, these designs are a fun floral pattern on one side, kind of some splatter on the other. And then the other pattern is leaves on one side and some kind of watercolored stripes on the other. So these are this year's patterns. Now, a funny twist is that last year's patterns went to the last chance list, and they are all on sale, and they're all still available. So if you're looking to add some of these paper packs to your collection, you could get some at a discount. Like the Brights are on sale. I think they're 20% off. So this pack is $10. And let's see, we have the in color package, and I don't believe that one is on sale. This is last year's in colors. That one's not on sale. But the previous year's in colors that have now been retired, well, not really retired, some of the stuff's still available, but this is a half price pack of paper. We have the Subtles at 20% off for $10. The Regals are $8.75, and the Neutrals are also $8.75. So if you're looking for some fun paper packs, but you don't necessarily need to get the new ones, you want to save a little bit of money, the older ones are on sale at some good prices. But for the card that I'm going to do today, I'm actually going to use both packets. The current pack of Brights and last year's pack of Brights. Okay, so what do I have here? I have a Flirty Flamingo card base, which is 8.5 by 5.5. And I have, let's see, Carla says, saw the beginning regarding YouTube struggles. I'm going to test to schedule my live tonight. It's been a while. And she has a newer phone, hoping to work. Yeah, it worked for me, Carla, and I still have the same phone. So whatever YouTube glitch was going on, I think they fixed it. Knock on something. I have a layer of Lemon Lime Twist. This is 4 5/8 by 3 3/8. I have a layer of black that is 3 3/4 by 5. Yep. And then I have a layer of white that I believe is 4.5 by 3 1/4. Yes. And then I have my inside layer that is 4 by 5 1/4. I also have 3 pieces of Designer Series paper, and this is the new pattern because this is the Fun Flowers. And so they're all 3 inches long. These two are 1 inch wide, and this one is 2 inches wide. So we've got a 2 by 3, 1 by 3, 1 by 3. And then for the old pack of Brights paper, I have a strip of the stripes that I'm going to add to the bottom of my card. And then I did a polka dot lemon lime twist for my envelope. So I thought that was kind of fun, where I could kind of mix the papers together. So that's kind of fun. So for these pieces here, we are going to add these to our layer of white. And you can do it any way you want. You can do the large piece to the left and then the 2 skinny pieces. You could do the large piece in the middle and the 2 skinny pieces on the outside. Or you could do the large piece to the right and then the skinny pieces. And you could decide which skinny piece you want, where, whatever you want to do with it. We're going to figure that out in a minute. But right now, what we need to do is we need to stamp our sentiment. And so I need to get a piece of white. This will work for our purposes. And I am using the Happy Birthday sentiment out of this set. And I've got my memento pad. And so I am just going to tap, 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 tap all over that. And since it is a photopolymer stamp, I probably need to use a foam mat. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay. So that's what we get. Love the kind of scritchy scratchiness of this stamp set. I think it's pretty cool. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to cut this out. So I did fussy cut the 2 words. And I'll just do a little bit on the happy. You can see it was a scrap that I was using. So I just kind of followed, the lines here. Oh my gosh, these are my ribbon scissors. I was like, why are these cutting so nice? That's why. I need a pair of not so great scissors. Here we go. Get my tip of my scissors in there. There we go. And then we would snip that, and I would snip this and snip that. There we go. And then I would snip up into here and snip that off. And so I'm just going to kind of go all the way around the word, kind of doing this, just snipping these little areas out here. And I mean, you kind of probably get what I'm doing. Now this one, I did kind of go a little bit deeper up in there because I really wanted to get a lot of that white space out. So that one, and then we went up there. And so mostly it's just straight cuts for the most part, all the way around here. And then we'll come in like that, go around the P a little bit. And then I am going to kind of go a little bit deep down in between those two letters, just because, like I said, I'm trying to get as much of the white space out as I can without, you know, being ridiculous and getting out a, what do you call those things? X-Acto blade or something, because I don't want to go that crazy. But, you know, I want it mostly it cut out. So you can kind of see what I've got going on there. So here is my happy and my birthday all cut out. I did not go inside of those. That was a little bit too much even for me. Right here, I kind of came up pretty deep from the bottom and came down from the top. And I have this a little piece of white there connecting the H to the D. But I wanted to be able to show off my paper. And so that's why I cut these out. So now I just got to figure out how do I want to put these on and where do I want to put my papers. Because I also have a little bow that I tied out of some Flirty Flamingo twine that I want to put on here. And this is out of this package here. No, it isn't. That's not the right package. This package. The Baker's Twine 3-color pack that has the Balmy Blue, the Lemon Lolly, and the Flirty Flamingo. And so I wanted to put this on, but I don't know if I want to put it here because the pink is there. So I might flip that around and then so I can put my pink twine on, you know, over here, maybe where it's not pink. So I think I might go like that, and then I'll put the bow there. So let me go ahead and add my papers. Do you guys ever do that? Do you ever think that far in advance? I don't always. When I was designing the card yesterday, being as I wasn't gluing it together right away, then I thought, oh, wait, you know, maybe I don't want to have that, the pink on the pink. So, all right. And I don't know what matters if I have the orange or the green, but I kind of think I want the green on the outside. Or do I? Yeah, we're just going to call it. We're going to call it Lemon Lime Twist on the outside. There we go. And then our pumpkin pie. Oops. Got to remind myself to clean off my desk since I now have glue on it. And we'll just do that. Okay. And then this is going to go on this layer of Lemon Lime Twist. And this is just a very, very slight border, as you can probably tell. Okay. And then this is going to go on to our layer of black, which I think I will do with dimensionals. And then I did do one, like this is the new papers. I did one out of the old papers too, just so you can kind of see the difference. I like the patterns every year when they come out with these patterns. I always buy them because I really, really like them. I love having designer series paper in every Stampin' Up! Color. It just makes me happy. Okay. And so then these, I think I'm going to put on with mini dimensionals. Let's just see how hard this is going to be. Because these are kind of skinny areas. We'll see how it's going to work out. Maybe. I guess if it doesn't work out so great, then I'll just kind of trim it. I think I'm going to need a little sliver like I have right here for the Y. I don't think I can get away with that. Okay, so I'm going to press my fingernail into each one of these, and that should make them easier to peel off. If you ever struggle with getting them off, I definitely recommend that. Okay. Oh goodness, somebody's calling me. I think it's my daughter. I wish I had someone to tell her I'm live. There, I just turned it off. She's going to be like, why are you turning me off? She doesn't know I'm live because she doesn't know I had problems yesterday. Whoops, there is a tiny bit of dimensional. You guys can probably see that. Ah! She's probably going to call me on my home phone now. She's going to be like, what are you doing? Why are you not taking my call? Okay, and then we're going to add this to our layer of Flirty Flamingo. There we go. And I hope you guys like my color combo. I think it's pretty good. We're going to go ahead and add our strip of the old style DSP to the inside here. There we go. And we'll snip off the excess, and then we'll stick that on the inside. Whoops. Got a little crazy and went glue everywhere. Okay. Ah, there she is probably. I'm going to tell her I'm live. I'm live. I'll call you right back. Bye. Okay. Then I have a sentiment here. What did I do with it? Here we go. This is also out of that same The Right Words stamp set. It says, to someone worth celebrating every single day. And so I'm going to do that in some pumpkin pie, I think. And we'll do that right. Oh, is that the right one? This is what happens if you don't use the stickers. You got to double check and make sure you're not upside down, because that happens, right? Okay, there we have that. We have that. We have our little bow. And I am going to roll up a glue dot and get it on the back of my knot here. And then we're going to stick that, I think, on the Y. Maybe. I don't know. Is that going to look stupid? What do you guys think? I'm just going to barely lay it there, and you can tell me if it looks stupid. Does that look stupid? While you guys are telling me if it looks stupid, I found some gems that are Flirty Flamingo. These are on the last chance list. They are the adhesive backed dots for days. They are $6.40, and they are Flirty Flamingo. How exciting. And so, oh, see, I should have maybe put a different color there, because now I'm going to have Flirty Flamingo dots on Flirty Flamingo paper. It is what it is. All right, have you commented? Oh, nobody's commented. Do you guys think that the bow is okay where it is, or do you think that's stupid? Please let me know. I'm going to put that right there. I feel like it might be kind of stupid, but maybe it's not. If I trim that off, does that look a little bit better? Maybe if I get all this junk out of the way and you can only look at the card, maybe that will make a difference. Does that look better? Well, while you're looking at that, let me bring in my other one that I did. This one is with the old papers. So I picked the stripes, and this one says thank you. Did I do an inside on this one? No, I haven't gotten that one done yet. So there we go. Patricia says to trim it, and I did. So maybe I need to trim it a little bit more. I think I'm going to pull in my ribbon scissors and maybe trim it just a bit more. Just because it might be just a skosh long. Yeah. And then Wilma said the bow is okay. Okay, well, there it is. And then here's my other card, which I really liked also. This is Granny Apple Green, Daffodil Delight, and Azure Afternoon. And then here are the other cards that we worked on today. It might go just beyond the Y. Oh, I see what you're saying. But I think I got it stuck on there. Ooh, I wonder if I could stick it maybe up here. No. I hate it when I can't decide what to do. I'm going to leave it, okay? Just because I don't know what else to do with it. We're just going to go with it. So thank you guys so much for watching me today. I appreciate it so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this little kind of impromptu live on a Friday afternoon. Who knows? Maybe I'll do it again. Not necessarily that I'm not going to do my Thursday nights, but I might throw in a Friday. Who knows? So everything that I talked about, all the classes and everything, descriptions are all in the video, in the description box below the video. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks again for joining me. I appreciate you so much. And I hope you guys have a great day and a great weekend. And I will see you again soon, guys. Bye-bye.